Michael Bisping, UFC 219. Yes. It happened Saturday night. Your boy Jason Perillo, his girl came out and fucking looked incredible. Cris Cyborg. No, I mean, look, I think more than anything, I give Holly Holm some credit for sticking in there the whole fight. I did not see her lasting the whole fight. I saw her getting knocked out early, but she looked fucking powerful. She was beating Cyborg in the clinch at times. I was really surprised how powerful Holly Holm looked. And to be honest with you, she made Cyborg almost look beatable.
No, she did. Listen, first of all, as you say rightly, congratulations to Cyborg, to Jason Perillo, to the whole team, to Team Cyborg. Well done, congrats. It was a solid title defense. But you're right. Listen, going into that fight, I thought Holly Holm was going to use a game plan where she would stay away. She would use her footwork and her reach and her kicks to avoid the clinch, to avoid being in the pocket. But she kind of did the exact opposite. When the fight started, the first round, she kind of caught a kick. Cyborg went down, and then she closed the distance. She got her in the clinch, and she did that throughout all 5 rounds. She often pushed Cyborg up against the fence and tried to score some points there. Tried to get the takedown. She wasn't successful enough there. I mean, Cyborg looked huge. You see the size of her thighs? Yeah. I mean, she looked in incredible shape. But Holly did better than what a lot of people thought she would. She did better than what I thought she would. She showed a lot of heart. I mean, her eye was swollen to the max. It really was. But yeah, you're right. Holly did make Cyborg not look beatable because she clearly won the fight, but she made her look, human, because I think Cyborg had that air about her that there was no woman on the planet Earth who that would give her a run for her money, but she kind of did.
Yeah, and look, it was a dominant performance. Dominant. I think one of the judges gave Holly 2 rounds, which is crazy. I think you can make the case for one of the rounds. I think Holly, I forget which one. I think it was maybe the 4th. It was close. There was moments in the fight where Holly looked really good. Dominant performance. But when I say look beatable, I just meant like, oh, holy shit. You know what? Like nobody was ever talking about Holly Holm like she was like, holy fuck, nobody will ever beat this woman. Like they talk about Cyborg. And Holly fought a close enough of a fight where I'm like, okay, well, maybe there is some fucking 20-year-old chick right now that's training her ass off that, will be able to come up and be able to beat Cyborg, especially as Cyborg gets older now.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because on UFC Tonight last week on Wednesday, we were having this discussion and we were talking about if Holly Holm was to beat Cyborg, of course she didn't, but if she was to beat Cyborg, would she be considered as the most successful female mixed martial artist or combat sports athlete of all time? Because she was multiple time, I think it was 17-time boxing world champion. She was a kickboxing world champion. She was the bantamweight UFC champion when she knocked out Holly Holm. And if she'd have beaten Cyborg, she would have been the 145 champion as well. So I guess on paper, she would have been. But as you just pointed out there, what tarnishes her legacy is that she did lose 3 fights in a row. She lost to Miesha Tate. She lost to who else? Shevchenko, was it? Anyway, whatever. She lost 3 fights in a row. So I guess that kind of tarnishes her legacy. But if she was to win up, and again, of course, she didn't. But I guess on paper, she would have been, So Holly's no walk in the park. I thought Cyborg did a fantastic job. Jason Perillo, I was listening very carefully to his corner advice in between the rounds. That guy's a stud. Absolutely unbelievable. Of course, I'm biased, but he's just such a fantastic coach. And yeah, congratulations to everybody. It was incredible. It was a great event.
Yeah, she lost 3 in a row: Jermaine Durandame, Shevchenko, and then Miesha Tate.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, look, here's the deal. Cyborg now goes into 2018. What I like about Cyborg, let's call a spade here. Nobody's giving her any fucking credit for anything else except for the fact that she's the baddest woman on the planet. There's no questions about like, oh, is it her marketability? Is it how hot she is? Can she act in a movie? It is like she fucking fights better than everybody else, and it is undeniable. And she's been doing it long enough that you have just such a wealth of highlight reels of her just dominating people that it's like, I think that's really good for MMA because a lot of the times you see in the UFC, they push people that it's debatable that it might be for the wrong reasons. Ronda was great, but were they really pushing Ronda because she was just this unbelievable fighter? Or was it because she was pretty and she had sort of an it factor? Same thing with Paige Van Zandt. They give her a Reebok deal. I mean, dude, they wanted her to be the next it girl so badly. And if you can't win and you can't keep on winning, I think it ends up posing a problem.
Well, the thing about Cyborg is that she fights, and I'll use this term carefully, she fights like a man. Now, again, when I was working on UFC Tonight, or I was doing the analyst work, I think in Cyborg's last fight, in the production meeting, I think I spoke about this. I said, oh yeah, she fights like a man. And everybody went, whoa, you can't say that because she's a woman. You can't say she fights like a man. And I'm like, hold on a minute. I think you can, because she does fight like a man. And I don't mean that disrespectful to women, but a lot of women, you can see the difference. And even my wife commented the other night, we were watching the fight. She said, wow, this looks like, you can see the difference, and no disrespect, between the earlier fight on Saturday, which was Carla Esparza and Cynthia Calvillo. She said, you can see the difference. They look like two, more amateurish fighters. And then Cyborg versus Holly looked like a real legit world-class MMA fight. And as I said she fights like a man. And of course, the PC police came out in force and said, you can't say that. But she kind of does. The thing with Cyborg, and a lot of people comment on this all the time, of course, and I hate to bring it up, is that she tested positive for steroids. And that seems to be the thing that follows her around. And even some people commented last week when I put up the artwork for the podcast, somebody commented, said that, you give everybody a hard time for steroids, but yet you don't do that for Cyborg. Why do you do that? That's double standards, just because Jason Perillo coaches her. And, to a certain degree, that person had a point. But the fact of the matter is, she served her time, she did her penalty, and that was a long, long time ago. And since then, she's been tested, I think it's fair to say, almost more than anybody else in the USADA program, and she passes all of her tests. Yes, was it shameful that she tested positive? Yes, but has the world moved on? Did she serve her time? Did she pay the price? Has she tested clean? God knows how many times. The answer to all those things is yes.
And also,
so it's a shame that follows her around,
Is there something to the fact that, look, let's call a spade as well.
Yep.
You're not really as hard on men in other divisions that you're never really going to have to face.
Of course. Exactly. The people that I'm going to fight that I think are cheating, I'm going to throw them under the bus. I'm going to slander them. I'm going to call them every name under the sun. But if I'm not fighting them, yes, I care, but do I care as much? No, of course I don't. And that's human nature.
But that's consistent. I mean, that, so yes, there is a point to it. And, look, here's the deal. Cyborg, when you look at what she did to Gina Carano and the way she fought earlier on in her career, look, if she was using steroids that whole time, then yeah, she's a fucking cheat, and fuck her for taking those wins, and but it is what it is in a sport where 80 to 90% of the athletes are rumored to be using steroids. Guys like Nick Diaz have said that, and a lot of people.
It really is 80 to 90%. I'm telling you.
You think it's that much?
The more I find out, I realize how naive I am. So many people are or were or still continue to take steroids. It's insane, and I've been so naive my entire career. But anyway, I don't want that to be the focus of the conversation. Cyborg did an amazing job. She worked her ass off. She trains like, honestly, one of the hardest working fighters in the entire business. So yeah, congratulations. Fantastic job.
So real quick. Other moments of the night that were interesting. You see Hooker, the guy from New Zealand, after he got the submission in what was a somewhat lackluster fight beforehand, he goes, yeah, the UFC is coming to Perth. Do you guys want to see me fight in Perth? And then the whole crowd just... The whole crowd just booed him. It was just such an amazing moment. It reminded me of when Paul Buentello, he used to have a saying where...
remember that after he knocked out Arlovsky or something?
No, it wasn't Arlovsky. He lost to Arlovsky. But it was like he had a knockout against somebody. It was, and his saying was, "Don't fear me, they fear the consequences." But it was when
that's right. He tried to get the crowd to say it with him. He goes, "Don't fear me, fear the," and he expected the entire crowd to go, "Consequences." Yeah. And nobody said anything.
No, they all just booed him. They're like, "Fuck you, you suck, you loser."
Oh, that was good. That was good. Yeah. Old school reference there, Lewis. Well done.
And then I guess Tyron Woodley, he had a moment, remember he was in New York City, and he asked the fans who had his back, and they all chanted Wonder Boy.
Serious?
Yeah.
See that? That's brilliant.
That's great. If you can't, it's some confidence. If you're going to fucking go to the crowd and you're going to have that type of confidence, you better nail it.
Best one was Chris Weidman. Remember, he was after he beat Anderson the first time? He pretty much begged everybody to be his fan. Listen, you got to get on board the train now. The bandwagon's leaving. Get on the train. Come on, everyone. And then, of course, me and Chris Weidman, we've had our moments in the media over the years. I was like, dude, at least I haven't begged people to be my fan on the microphone. You know what I mean? You either love me or you hate me, whichever one. I'm not going to beg you to be my fan. Chris, shut the fuck up. That was the most cringeworthy thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. But so that guy Dan Hooker, he had a little bit of a slap to reality.